Good evening, this is Brass Tacks. I'm Zakir Jacob. It has been a phenomenal and a historic victory for the BJP in Gujarat. Not just the fact that it's going to be the 7th term of one party ruling in one state. The only comparable example is that of the Left Front in Bengal, which ruled for 34 years. At the end of this current term, the BJP would have been in power in Gujarat for a good 32 years. But what is even more staggering about this verdict is, as the Left Front's mandates reduced with a period of time, and particularly in the last two terms, when Buddhadev Bhattacharya was Chief Minister, it had become a pale shadow of the earlier self. In the BJP's case, their mandate is only increasing. The mandate that was given to Bhupendra Patel yesterday was the highest that not just a BJP government has seen in Gujarat, but the highest that the state has ever seen. So, what explains this huge, this mammoth, this historic victory? Number one. Number two, can this be extrapolated to other states? And number three, was the Aam Aadmi Party playing spoiler in what was up until now a two-horse race between the BJP and the Congress? That's how Gujarat's politics has been for the last 3 decades at least. But first, the story.
मैंने वादा किया था कि भूपेंद्र नरेंद्र का रिकॉर्ड तोड़े, इसलिए नरेंद्र जी जान से मेहनत करेगा। और गुजरात की जनता ने तो रिकॉर्ड तोड़ने में भी रिकॉर्ड कर दिया, सारे रिकॉर्ड तोड़ दिए।
All right, so what was it that the BJP managed to do in Gujarat in 2022, which it could not in 2017? Remember, 2017 was an aberration election. It was the floor as far as the BJP was concerned. Go back and check. The BJP was down to double digits in 2017. All right, the marker is not popping up. But what it managed to do over the last election, that is in 2022, was to try and win back all those sections that it had lost in 2017. In 2017, the Patidars had gone away from the BJP. The tribals had gone away from the BJP. Look at Saurashtra in particular. Saurashtra was an area where out of 58 seats, the BJP was down to just in its 20s back in 2017. This time around, out of those 58 seats, the BJP got more than 45. When you dominate a part of Gujarat like that, again, in southern Gujarat, where it made up for the losses in 2017, the losses in Saurashtra it made up for in southern Gujarat. The other region where it really lost in a big way was in north, in Mehsana, Patan, Sabarkantha, Banaskantha, where the BJP maxed out its gains. Out of the 30-35 seats in that northern belt, the BJP got more than 25. And like I said, this was a two-horse race up until the 2017 election. What changed in 2022 was the fact that it completely brought in this new entrant. So there were 35 seats where the Aam Aadmi Party finished second. 35 seats. If you add 17 to that 35, that takes the Congress to 51. Remember, they lost 60 seats. 60 was the loss of the Congress, out of which 17 had already defected from the Congress even before this election. So the Congress's starting point, if you will, from 77 had come down to 40. But be that as it may, out of these 60 seats, 51 seats, because 35, the Aam Aadmi Party came number 2 in. 51 seats the Congress lost because the Aam Aadmi Party was taking away vote share from the Congress. It was taking away vote share from the anti-incumbent vote, as it's called. Not that the Congress would have won this election. Yes, it would have brought them back to the to 50 plus, or maybe even closer to 60. Not that that would have made the Congress win this election. If at 50 or 60 the Congress, if it was a two-horse race, the BJP would have still ended up at 120 to 130. The question, though, is this election that we saw, 156, close to 160 that is, which has never happened in Gujarat, was that in part at least because of this spoiler factor, this third party that came in? At the end of the day, they only had 5 seats, but there were 35 seats where they came number 2 in, where they pinched the Congress. We'll talk about all that and more, and also the national picture, which we'll try and get in just a moment. Let's bring in our guests. I have to ask my producer to scroll up for us. Shehzad Poonawala here is in our studios. Ashpreet Kadyal is there from the Congress parties. We also have Ajay Omat, the newspaper journalist from Gujarat. And Preeti Sharma Menon is from the Aam Aadmi Party. Will also be joined by Yashwant Deshmukh. Let me start with you, Shehzad. I'm not taking away from the historic nature of this victory. Absolutely incredible. And like I said on the magic wall, even if the Aam Aadmi Party was not there, the best case performance for the Congress was between 50 and 60, and the BJP would have still ended up at 120 to 130. But not at 156, and not the Congress at 17.
Well, let me actually reveal the secret sauce behind this victory. Usually nobody does that, but let me tell you what it exactly is. And this is not a game of arithmetic. It's actually a game of chemistry. And I describe this chemistry as the PSLV model. The PSLV model of Narendra Modi. P for performance, S for Sarvasparshi, L for Labharti, and V for Vikas. Zaka, just imagine the scale of this victory. And it doesn't come by doing just some caste-based arithmetic politics that once upon a time Madhav Singh Solanki did, by which he managed 149 seats. Today, if you see the size and the scale of our victory, in the SC dominant seats, we have won 17 out of 20. In the tribal dominant seats in Dahod, Panchmahal, Chota Udaipur, we won 28 out of 32. In the urban seats, we won 52 out of 55. Pure rural seats, we won 84 out of 104. In the Patidar seats, we won 43 out of 47. Morbi, Surat, Doraji and others. And even the Muslim dominated seats. Yeah. In the Muslim dominated 19 seats, BJP has won 17, not because Owaisi factor, who took just 0.3% of the vote. We have increased our vote share compared to 2017 by at least 2.5%. This is because of what, just let me just tell you one 10 seconds more.
That I asked. I'm not taking away from the BJP's victory. Absolutely astounding, 156, like I said, not even Madhav Singh Solanki got that. But would that 150 victory have been a 120 victory if the Aam Aadmi Party was not there in the fray?
No, the reason is because this victory is not a victory because of the entry of Aam Aadmi Party and taking away of Congress votes. This victory is a decisive positive mandate, and let me tell you one figure, because most people, when I used to say it during the election cycle, never took it seriously. Today, the reason why even Muslims are coming and voting for the BJP, Pasmanda Muslims in particular, or all these sections which are not traditional BJP voters, is because Modi has created a new class of voter called Labharti. Let me just give you 5 statistics. 97% of people in Gujarat have water tap connections. First, they did not have water because of the drought areas.
It doesn't mean all the 97% voted for you, right? I mean, 97%, your vote share is 53%.
Well, the inclination of a person to vote for us after they get a tap connection, and their life before this was that they used to have to go for kilometers and kilometers to fetch one pail of water.
Shehzad, but it's not like all 97% people got tap connections in the last 20 years. Surely there were people who got it before that as well.
No, the majority of this has happened in the period. Just let me give you 2-3 more statistics. 10.5 lakh poor people have got a Pakka house. 1.7 crore in the last few years have got Jandhan accounts. 36 lakh women have got gas collections. And 3.5 crore people have got ration the last 2 years free when COVID struck. These have created a class of Labhartis. They don't see religion, they don't see caste, they don't see any other factor, they don't get swayed by free politics.
Fair enough.
They go and they vote for the Labh they have
Like
got.
I said, I'm not taking away from the scale of the BJP's victory. Yashwant Deshmukh is joining us. 2 things. One that I asked Shehzad, and I want to ask you this as well. Of course, the BJP would have definitely won Gujarat, no question about it. But whether it was a 110, 120 victory or a 150 victory, I just showed on the magic wall before you joined us, Yashwant Deshmukh, that there were 35 seats where the Aam Aadmi Party finished second. Of those 35 seats, in 31, the number of votes that the Aam Aadmi Party polled is much greater than the victory margin of the BJP candidate. Meaning, if the Aam Aadmi Party candidate was not there, and if that was the anti-incumbent or opposition vote, then the Congress candidate would have won in those constituencies. So, do you think, the Congress from 17 to, let's say, a respectable figure like a 50 and a BJP from 110 to 150 was because of this spoiler factor in the Aam Aadmi Party?
Well, I don't really think that I would like to call Aam Aadmi Party as the spoiler factor for two reasons. Number one, I genuinely believe even if Aam Aadmi Party would not have been there, Congress would have lost the election in Gujarat big time because they did not invest back in the mandate given by the Gujarati people to them when they won 77 seats last time, of behaving like a responsible opposition, being aggressive on the ground, being available on the ground, being seen as the ground. Their national leadership dumped it. Nobody went back. So Gujarati opposition voters were feeling cheated of sorts. And there was an anti-incumbency not against the ruling party, but for the first time, a weird phenomena of anti-incumbency against the principal opposition party. So that is the case number one, that no matter what, Aam Aadmi Party or no Aam Aadmi Party, Congress would have lost big time. Yes, the consolation debate could be that instead of getting under 20 seats, they might have ended up with 40 seats.
All
That's okay. If they feel there is a big consolation in them, probably okay. I mean, there is no question.
Okay, so let me ask Ashpreet Kadyal of the Congress. Irrespective of this spoiler factor, the fact is, and I think Yashwant Deshmukh makes a very valid point, your leaders did not invest in Gujarat. This is a Pikewan situation where for the first time, the opposition was on test, was on electoral test more than the government was or more than the ruling party was, because the 77 MLAs that you returned in 2017, the people of those constituencies are saying, what did you do? If you haven't, put a check and balance on this government for which we voted you for, then why should we vote for you again?
We humbly accept the mandate of the people. We will introspect and make sure we, work on these issues. However, one or two things that we have learned from the Bharatiya Janata Party are, and, which we'll also, try and learn from the Bharatiya Janata Party are these issues. How do you manage to advertise, brand and do marketing when you have done nothing at all on the ground? This is one thing that we really need to learn from the Bharatiya Janata Party. Number two,
you think 156 record mandate is because of advertisements?
B teams. How do you manage your...
Ashpreet, one second. Ashpreet, are you saying that 156, the kind of mandate even Madhav Singh Solanki did not get in Gujarat, is because of advertisements?
That's one of the major factors. Allow me the time and I'll tell you what are the factors are. Another thing that we need to
Aam Aadmi Party, by the way, took out more advertisements than BJP in Gujarat.
How does the Bharatiya Janata Party...
So I'm not sure whether that logic holds, but
how did the Bharatiya Janata Party... We need to learn another thing from the Bharatiya Janata Party, which is how they managed to, work with their B team, AIMIM and Aam Aadmi Party in order to cut the votes of the Congress Party. Number three, how they instilled fear in the minds of the people that were leaning towards the Congress Party in Gujarat. And number four,
what is the fear factor? One second. What do you mean by fear? What do you mean by fear? Was BJP saying we are going to jail people who vote for the Congress? What fear are you talking about?
Our MLA was lifted. Number two, there were threat calls. There were intimidation calls, and we also got complaints registered in the police station.
If anything, that should enthuse your voter more. Your voter should be more enthused if you feel that your MLAs were being persecuted.
So the Bharatiya Janata Party, another thing.
Ashpreet, I have great respect for you. I have great respect for you. But let's come up with some slightly more cogent arguments. No, please. As a lawyer, surely you can come up with slightly more cogent arguments.
Let me
ask Preeti Sharma Menon. Okay, let me move to Preeti Sharma Menon of the Aam Aadmi Party. Preeti Sharma Menon, can we at least concede at the end of this election? Only Preeti Sharma Menon on the frame, please. At the end of this election, where the Aam Aadmi Party made so much noise on social media and said, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. In fact, Mr. Kejriwal wrote in pieces of paper in television programs saying BJP ko to 20 seats se zyada nahi aayega Gujarat mein. The final tally is 156 BJP and 5 to the Aam Aadmi Party. Can we concede that, making noise on social media does not necessarily win an election?
No, I'd look at it this differently. The BJP has won this election decisively. And the reason for the win is they themselves. They have won the election. You cannot blame other parties and other things for, why they won, because this is a B team, this one cut votes. This is a decisive victory and we have to hand it to them, congratulate them. They had a wholehearted, decisive victory in Gujarat and it is all credit to them. When other parties are contesting the elections, they have the full right to do everything. We contested an election to win. We did everything that we could, but they won. That's great. That's the way democracy pans out. But I think what we've done is something tremendous. We have managed to enter a state which is a stronghold of the BJP, of the Prime Minister, of the Home Minister, and we have managed to secure 14% vote in it, which is more than any other political party does in its first attempt. I mean, if you look at BJP itself, it has been trying in Kerala since 1980s and hasn't succeeded.
Preeti?
May I complete?
Preeti,
Can I
can I
complete?
ask one question?
Can I just complete? Can I just complete?
Absolutely laudatory what you've done in a
please?
first election
Give me a
in
chance to
Gujarat.
complete.
You got 14% vote share. You got 1% vote share in Himachal Pradesh. Why did you leave the field there?
We tried to contest the election in Himachal Pradesh, but our organization wasn't up to it. In Gujarat, we have a fantastic organization. We've got 41 lakh votes over there. So I think we've managed to create a space for ourselves in Gujarat, like we did in Punjab in the first time we contested. And this next election, we will have a resounding victory, I'm sure.
No, Preeti, again, I keep coming back to this point. One second. Preeti, I keep coming back to this point because the Congress has been saying this again and again. Had the Aam Aadmi Party not taken away that 13-14% vote share, the Congress's vote share today from 27% would have been somewhere close to 40%. And at 40% vote share, they would not have ended up with 17 seats. And surely this begs the question. I've been asking this to AAP spokesperson after AAP spokesperson. In a small state like Himachal, neighboring Punjab, where you won just 6 months ago with a record 93 seats, you think that that was a tougher contest, but you'll go to a Gujarat where BJP is in power for 27 years, that is an easier contest.
See, which election we choose to fight and how we choose to fight is our prerogative.
Of course.
But let me come to this Congress question. If Congress keeps saying, let me please answer, you never let me answer.
Yeah,
if the Congress keeps saying, oh, we would have won or we would have done better if the Aam Aadmi Party did not exist. Yes, of course. If the AAP, may I complete? If the AAP did not exist, if the TMC did not exist, if the Samajwadi Party did not exist, if no other party existed on this planet, of course the Congress would do well.
Okay.
But that's not a justification.
Okay, let me go to Ajay Umat and then I'll come to Shehzad.
It's a diverse country
Ajay
and we
Umat,
have multiple parties.
please explain to our viewers why the scale of the BJP's victory. Again, you know, the point is no one doubted that the BJP will win. Of course the BJP would have won. I mean, it's their guard, it's the Prime Minister's state, it's the Home Minister's state. They would have surely won. But to come back with the kind of mandate that even Madhav Singh Solanki did not get in 85, which was a watershed election, it was the creation of a new social coalition. Something is happening in Gujarat or has happened in Gujarat, which even the pollsters, I mean, to be fair, one of them got the extent of the victory, but none of them said 156. No pollster said 156. So surely something was going on there in Gujarat, where the Gujarati voter has reaffirmed his or her faith in Modi and in the BJP in a way that we haven't seen since the inception of the state.
Sir, should I tell you one thing? Yashwant was with me in one of the discussion and we both agreed before 2 months that under any circumstances BJP is going to win this election. But we were thinking it can be 110 to 120. But I tell you, if I have to describe this in one sentence, I'll say it was because of Mr. Modi's magic, Amit Shah's skills, and the party president, C.R. Patil, the way he has piloted the whole thing. Mr. Narendra Modi knew that, there is an anti-incumbency on ground. He knew there is an anti-establishment feeling. He also knew that, there was mismanagement of corona and price rise and unemployment and frequent paper leakages and all such things. So first thing he did, because he was very upset because last time BJP was nervous 90. They got only 99 seats. So what he did before 1 year, he started his preparation. He changed the whole cabinet, including Chief Minister Vijay Rupani. Then he brought new faces. Before 6 months, he announced that, Defense Expo, because Gujarati basically, they love business. So if you see, Defense Expo has come to here, business has gone up. Then, national sports, then the biggest investment in last 2 months, that was this Airbus Tata project of Airbus Tata and Vedanta project of worth 2 lakh crore rupees, and more than 6 lakh crore rupees foreign direct investment, which is highest in the country, has come to Gujarat.
Okay.
Now what he did, he
so
said that
can I ask?
be the criteria.
Okay, can I ask Shehzad Poonawala? No, can I ask
Give me
Shehzad
1
Poonawala?
minute, sir. Give me 1 minute.
Two things. The point that Ajay Omat made about negating anti-incumbency by changing the cabinet, lock, stock, and barrel, 18 months before the election. And second, as he said, the average Gujarati loves to do business. So you had 5 lakh crores, 6 lakh crores worth of these MOUs being announced, the Tata project, the Vedanta project, all moving from Maharashtra, where you come from, to Gujarat. Did that tilt the scales?
I'll tell you why these propositions are not correct. Because you are only seeing the 6th and now the 7th time we've returned to assembly. But in that same period, we have one Lok Sabha after Lok Sabha. We have one local election after local election. वहाँ पे तो आम आदमी पार्टी MIM भी नहीं थी. The reason why we win, and I'll tell you very honestly, there are two factors at play, and I sum them up as Manas. Manas means Modi, Nadda, Santosh. This represents a trioca of Amit Shah. They represent a quartet of 4 people who don't stop working. We are constantly working. Let me tell you, Brian Modi.
One second. On Manas, why didn't your party president's home state you didn't?
I was coming to exactly that. You would say, but then why does this Manas, Modi, Amit Shah, Nadda and Santosh not work in Himachal?
Yeah, exactly.
Sir, it has worked in Himachal and it has worked in MCD also. I'll tell you how. We have lost those elections. Fair and square, I agree. But we have not lost our dignity because nobody expected 104. I sat on this studio and I told you we will come very close. We were only 30 votes shy in Delhi. In Himachal, just 0.9%. To 10 seats, it's less than 500, 700 votes. 700 votes that we lost.
Doesn't matter.
Even when, one second, Ashpreet, I'm making a larger point.
A win is a win.
May I just make this point?
Yeah, one sec, Ashpreet. I'm coming to you, Ashpreet. Give me 10 seconds. Give me 30 seconds.
I'm trying
30
to
seconds, yeah. 30 seconds, I'll come to you. I'll come to you, Ashpreet. Have some patience.
I don't understand this crass behavior. Anyways.
No, but he has a point. A win is a win.
A win is a win.
If you had won
I'm not
Himachal,
denying,
you would have...
But I'm trying to make an honest point to you, to your viewers.
Go on, yeah.
Brand Modi has got stronger and the BJP's machinery to organizationally organize itself for elections and for social work has become stronger. And therefore, even when we lose in Himachal, we have lost by 0.09%. This is because we have invested that much. Even in the upcoming elections, we have already started working.
Okay.
This is not, I'm not trying to say market that we are working to. This is genuinely we are working constantly to reach the people and to take our ideology forward. And therefore, even when we lose, we don't lose badly.
Yashwant Deshmukh, for me, I think Himachal shows the limit of all the factors that worked in Gujarat. Obviously, Mr. Modi's magic worked, Amit Shah's organizational abilities worked. The fact that they changed the cabinet and therefore blunted some amount of anti-incumbency, they didn't do that in Himachal. Therefore, that worked in Gujarat. It didn't work in Himachal. It shows to me the limits of this election-winning machine called the BJP. That even in North India, you can challenge the BJP if A, there are local factors, B, there is anti-incumbency, and C, there is an opposition party that's willing to ride on that. In Himachal, to be fair to the Congress, they did that. In Gujarat, they left the field.
Well, exactly. And actually, I've been saying that there is a twist to the concept of the double engine sarkar, because I genuinely believe it is the only single engine sarkar everywhere in that way. In the case of the BJP, the second engine that they always quote in the double engine sarkar is of the chief minister, which invariably is not placed in the front of the train, but actually in the opposite side on the guard's coach, pulling the train down. And it is a single engine of popularity of Narendra Modi, which still manages to pull the entire train of the BJP across the finishing line. So it's a double engine, but it's not the double engine working in the same direction. You remember our latest issue of the 15th of August, India Today, Mood of the Nation. In that survey, we found that among the top 10 chief ministers of the India, only one, Himanta Biswa Sarma of Assam, was from the BJP. Rest of them were from opposition. So BJP's huge problem is that their chief minister's performance is not really matching, or their popularity is not really matching to the extent that prime minister's performance is rated, or prime minister's popularity.
So tell me, Yashwant, going forward in 2023, you have the big states. You have Karnataka coming up first, then you have Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh. In those three states, in two of them, the Congress is the ruling party, and in one of them, the BJP is the defending party, as it were. Do you see the Congress having a chance in these four states? In all of these four states, it's primarily a Congress versus BJP fight.
Well, I genuinely believe that BJP has a tough task coming in Karnataka. Congress will have a really, really tough task retaining Rajasthan and coming back again in Madhya Pradesh. At this point of time, it really looks difficult.
Okay.
In Chhattisgarh, there is a probability of Congress continuation as far as the data is concerned. I'm only talking about the data point. Chhattisgarh CM's ratings are still okay, even though there is a huge anti-incumbency against the sitting MLAs that is growing up. But however, CM is doing okay. So Congress has a good chance in Karnataka and in Chhattisgarh, but they do not have that good a chance in Madhya Pradesh.
One of the other things about these four states, is that the Congress has one too many claimants in all of these states. Whether it is Siddaramaiah versus DK Shivkumar in Karnataka, Sachin Pilot versus Ashok Gehlot in Rajasthan. Of course, Mr. Scindia is not with your party anymore, but it used to be Kamal Nath versus Scindia in Madhya Pradesh, and of course, Bhupesh Baghel versus T.S. Singh Dio in Chhattisgarh. The Congress seems to be its own worst enemy, as is evidenced in Himachal. You have won a record win in Himachal, and there is still a fight going on who will be the next chief minister.
Well, number one, from Himachal, you can ascertain that it's only going to be onwards and upwards for the Congress party from here. Number two, as far as, the discussion that's going on, the charcha that is happening over who should be the CM, that is what democracy is. That is freedom of speech and expression. That is, how the beauty of democracy should be, which is absent in the Bharatiya Janata Party. And that's why the Bharatiya Janata Party does not know how to have debates and discussions as to who should be the leader. It comes from the top.
Ashmeet, I'm sorry to burst your bubble. There was the CLP meeting that happened an hour ago in Shimla.
Number two,
for all the freedom and expression, you know what they did? There was a one-line resolution saying we leave it to the High Command to decide who should be the Chief Minister. I'm just putting it out there. This is what happened in Shimla 1 hour ago. Okay.
I'll give an example of Mr. Modi. Mr. Modi comes down to the states and says what? Vote in my name, as if all the other leaders in the Bharatiya Janata Party are incompetent. Okay. Don't know anything. Even the former CM, even the former deputy CM, even all the former ministers. Okay. Nobody knows anything. Only Mr. Modi does.
All right.
That is why we see the Bharatiya Janata Party.
I've got the last 2 or 3 minutes to wrap up, so I'm going to go to Preeti Sharma Menon.
Number two, the major
Preeti Sharma Menon, again, one of the things that this verdict showed yesterday was the limits of the Aam Aadmi Party and its sort of national footprint, as it were. Yes, in smaller states, Goa, maybe Uttarakhand, maybe that's why I keep saying Himachal was a surer bet for you than Gujarat. But in smaller states, you could challenge whether it's the BJP or the Congress. But in bigger states, and to establish a national footprint, there is still a long ways to go for your party.
Well, I think it is fantastic what we've done. I'm quite surprised that you're looking at it this way. I don't know whether it comes from a bias, but a party that in 10 years has become a nationally recognized party, that has only 8 parties in India have done that so far, a party that in 10 years is in power in 2 states. I think we are the most phenomenally growing party. The BJP till now has not managed to really do anything in many states. They've been trying since 1980. You didn't let me say this earlier.
In 17
in Andhra Pradesh in 2019,
2
Narendra Modi.
Ma'am.
Yes, they are.
They're in power in 17
They started
states.
in 1980. They started in 1980 and we started in 2012.
Okay.
That's the difference.
Okay.
And I think in 10 years, we've done more than any other party has done in India.
Sure.
We are growing, we are the fastest growing party.
Fair enough.
We are now a nationally recognized party. And now we are creating a vote bank, vote base almost in every state in India.
No,
and we are going to go everywhere, whether the Congress or the anchors like it or not.
The point
Just
being,
to
I'll get
come in
Yashwant
very
also, but
briefly, just to come in very
two
briefly.
things. One, just give me 10 seconds. One is, I think in bigger states, the Aam Aadmi Party has a problem because it runs into a significant opposition party, whether it is Congress or whether it is regional parties. There, the Aam Aadmi Party struggles. And secondly, this whole, almost utopian
Punjab,
idea that in
Took it away from the
2024, Mr. Kejriwal can challenge Mr. Modi. I think that myth has been busted by Gujarat yesterday.
Let me just come in very quickly. Preeti is a good friend of
I don't
mine.
think anybody is saying
may I,
such
may I,
things about-
Preeti, may I? Because we don't want to speak over each other.
I'm
Preeti
just
should.
responding to what he said to me.
Sure. Yeah.
Preeti, I don't know which IB report you are reading because the BJS became a national party in 1 year, BJP in 4 years, CPM in 7, NCP in 1, NPP in 6, and you did not contest Gujarat for the first time. Here's a 2017 report saying that you got 24,918 votes in the year 2017. If I am lying about this, I am ready to quit politics. If I am not,
Now,
I
can I
hope Mr.
respond? Can I
Kejriwal,
respond to
who's
this?
lying seriously about this, will quit politics. I am putting my entire political career on stake.
Can I-
Have you contested in 2017? A party like yours
Thanks.
lies brazenly on television, on national television. You write and you give things,
Can I
and you
please
say,
respond to
"Pehli
this?
baar
You
mein
don't
humne
want Shehzad,
40
you made
lakh
your
vote
point.
le
Now
liye."
let
You
me
have contested in
respond.
2017 in Gujarat.
2017
The
when we
Gujaratis,
contested
let her
the
respond.
election,
can't be
it was
fooled
just
like
a
this.
few
Let her
people that
respond.
had stood
Preeti,
up. Yes, you should be allowed to respond. In 2017, a few local leaders had decided to contest on their own on the party name. The party did not go there and contest the election in the
Zaka.
real sense of the word. Like we're saying in
PTI
Himachal, we
INS
didn't really
report.
contest
Okay.
a full-fledged election
Here you go.
because
Anyway,
we didn't have the Sangathan there.
I'm
We did
going
this
to
in
wrap
Gujarat.
up. I'm going to
Okay,
wrap
now
up.
okay,
No, I'm
okay.
going to wrap up
Let me
because
concede to Shehzad.
Okay.
Let me concede to Shehzad. We did it in 2 terms.
Okay,
In
you
at
did it
least
in
10
2
times
terms.
you
Then why
tried
Mr.
in Kerala,
Kejriwal lying?
Tamil Nadu, Andhra
Mr.
Pradesh, and you got
Kejriwal
nowhere.
was on. Zaka,
So
you
I
have to
think
extend this for 10
nobody
seconds.
is
I
lying. This is
request
the
you.
first time
Quickly,
request you.
I have
10
to take a
second
break.
extension.
I have to take a break.
Ten
30
seconds.
seconds, yes.
Tremendously.
Preeti Sharma Menon, a national spokesperson, has come out and said Kejriwal lied to us. Kejriwal has said
No,
that
she
in
didn't say
first
that.
time. No, he said that I agree it's in 2 terms.
Okay.
Kejriwal's been saying it's in 1 term. I
Okay.
think this is the most biggest lie Kejriwal can say to
All
somebody.
right, I got to wrap up. I'm completely out of time. All I'll say is, for me, the 2 or 3 big takeaways. Number one, Mr. Modi's magic, his aura in Gujarat absolutely continues. It is unabated, and I don't think anything can stop that. From evidence from the fact that the BJP has had the biggest ever mandate that any party has seen in the history of Gujarat. But having said that, are there limits to that model? Can other parties challenge that model? Certainly Himachal has shown that. I think it's going to be fascinating what you're going to see in 2023 in Karnataka, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, and that, in a sense, will set the tone for 2024. I'm going to take a break. That was the news until now. Now let's take a look at some big news that we have for car owners.